I'm Tammy Brawley with The Green Kitchen, and I'm here today to show you some delicious lamb sausage, homemade lamb sausage. I absolutely love using this recipe. We've got some ground lamb in a bowl, and we've got some spices that we're going to use. First thing I want to show you is how to toast those spices. Whole spices always give you much more flavor than your already pre-ground. What I have in this little bowl here is some fennel seed and some cumin seed. I unfortunately did not have coriander seed, so I'm using ground, but you can still toast it. I have a skillet on the stove that is warming up. We're going to pop it into the skillet. Now what you might notice is there is no liquid in this skillet. You don't want it when you grind spices. You want a completely dry skillet. Pick up your hot skillet, move it around. You should start to smell it. Now, this is an African recipe. It's also known as merguez. I love using this recipe. It's also got some paprika and some cayenne pepper, a little salt, some cilantro, and some chopped garlic. We're going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to form these into patties, or you can do links. We're not using any sort of casing, but casing is an edible product that you could purchase from your local butcher if you wanted to do it in casing. But in this case, we're not using casing. So we've got our toasted spices. But the thing of it is once you toast them, you're going to want to let them cool. And that's because we're going to be transferring them to a spice grinder. This is just a coffee bean grinder. I also use it as a spice grinder, and I'm going to show you how to clean it after we grind our spices. So in a few moments, we're going to put our cooled spices in the spice grinder. All right, our spices have now cooled somewhat, and that's what you want. You really would not want to put a hot spice into the spice grinder because when you grind it, it will cause condensation, and that would cause a little bit more moisture than you need for the recipe. So we have a clean spice grinder, and I'm going to give you a little tip on how to clean it afterwards. But we're going to go into our spice grinder or coffee bean grinder, whatever it's known as for you. These things are very inexpensive, and I actually own two. I do one for coffee and one for spices. Doesn't take very long, but you just kind of want to move it around, depending on how much you have in the grinder. You can also hear it, and if it doesn't sound like it's, I don't know, rough, I guess, so to speak, it sounds smooth, and this does. So we're going to take the spices and, yep, it's perfect, absolutely. So we have a nice ground fennel and cumin and some coriander. We're going to add that to our sausage, or our lamb, I should say, ground lamb. Now, how to clean these things. Very, very easy to do. Some plain, simple rice. We're going to pop it into the grinder. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to grind the rice. A couple of minutes on that, or a couple seconds, I should say. You can empty the rice out into your trash can, and you have a perfectly clean grinder to do whatever next you do, whether it be coffee beans or spices. So back to the lamb. We've got our spices in here. Now we're going to add some cumin and paprika. Your recipe says paprika. I like to use smoked paprika for sausages. And we have some salt. Put that in there. And we've got a couple tablespoons of cilantro. And I do know that there's some cilantro aversions out there, and that's okay. I know you can't help it. It's all right if you want to substitute parsley, or if you want to leave it out completely, that's all right as well. So we're going to add some minced garlic that I had on my board here and some chopped cilantro. Now I am going to go ahead and glove up for this just because it's a little easier and less messy. And all we're going to do now, very, very simple, is we're going to make patties out of this. We're going to mix all this up together. Got some nice pretty green color in this. And now it depends on, what sort of shapes you're interested in. Do you want round? Do you want long? Do you want cylinders? It's really up to you. I think we're just going to do a couple round ones to be a little easier. I've already got my pan warming up on the stove over there. I'm going to pat it out sort of like a meatball to a certain extent. And then we're going to flatten it. You could do it this way. Have it ready and waiting for you to start cooking. If you are more interested in cylinders, that is totally fine as well. Just make it longer, like a sausage normally would be. I'll do one more. I kind of like the cylinder. So it depends on you. It's a preference. You know, I like to tell people that there are no recipe police that are going to come knock on your door and arrest you for not following the recipe. So it's cooking is based on your likes and dislikes. So we've got a couple of nice cylinders. This one is a little fat, to be honest, so I think that would take a little longer to cook, so I'm going to break it off a little bit. Remember that something bigger always takes longer to cook than something smaller. Now this is more uniform with the other cylinder that I made. We'll let that be there. Maybe we'll do one more patty. And then we're going to start cooking. Now we have a hot pan over here. You know, you can put 10 different chefs in the room and get 10 different ways on how to warm up things. And I personally, my main rule of thumb when it comes to pans and fats is do not put a product in a cold fat. That is absolutely the worst thing you could do. The other thing about cooking is if I had a huge skillet and it tells me a teaspoon of oil, well, is that going to be enough to cover the bottom? It's probably not. So depending on the size skillet will depend on how much oil or fat that you choose to use. Now we have got some oil in the bottom of the pan here. It's already translucent in nature, which is what you want when you're warming it up. What I would not want to do, as I mentioned, is put fat or product, in a cold fat. So we're going to sear these off. Looking for a nice sound there, and that was perfect. We're going to sear them off until they get a nice little brown caramelization on them, and then we're going to finish them off in a 425-degree oven. You could do the entire cooking process on top. That would be fine. I tend to think that takes a little bit longer, and so what we're going to do is finish them off in the oven. Excuse me one second, get the right skillet here, right spatula. Now the other thing is that while they are in the hot fat here, you don't want to start trying to flip them immediately. You want them to sort of release on their own. So I'm not going to flip these right away. And once they have a nice little caramelization on pretty much all sides, then we're going to finish them off in the oven. All right, so our lamb sausage has been in the oven for about 10 minutes. I did it on 425 degrees. We're going to pull it out. You always want to make sure when you pull a skillet out of the oven that you keep a hot pad close by. I can't tell you how many times I've tossed it either back where it goes or off to the side, and then I go and reach for the skillet and I've burned my hand. That is experience talking. You don't want to do that. So we've got this delicious lamb sausage. We're going to take it out and put it on our serving dish. I actually have done this before where I've grilled the lamb sausage on the grill, and I will split it open and fill it with feta cheese and continue the grilling process. Absolutely delicious. So there we have it. Lamb sausage. I'm Tammy Brawley with The Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.